Just waiting on some folks to join in before we begin. I see a few of you are here. Hello. This is my very first live.
I come quick and give back.
And I'm learning as we go.
Scratches.
And I want to go here. And go there. Hey! I see some of you who I know. Hello there. I have two phones working so that I can... Oops, I'm going to turn this down so I don't hear myself on that one. Who is Pandora 51359 saying, hi Tam, I'm here. Hello folks, so nice to see you. Coming in. My name is Tamara Whitewolf, for those that don't know me. And this is my very first live session. And wanted to try to make this a regular thing on Mondays. And hope it works out. I'm a traditional teacher in shamanism and witchcraft and herbs. And, or maybe not so traditional, but I mean, I like the old traditions and things of the earth and things of astrology and things of magic and most definitely things of the moon. Dottie, hey girlfriend, so nice that you joined in. Nice to see you, sweetheart. So tonight I thought would be fun if we maybe talked a little bit about the moon and what's been going on with it. And I thought while I was doing that, I would create something, because one of the things I want to talk about with you is the things you can do with the moon and when. And so I'm actually going to do one of those things while I'm sitting here. And that is to make a crystal grid. Who's made one before? Anybody made a crystal grid before? Hey. Who's that? Anne. And who? Which one? Which beautiful Anne is it that I know? A number of you lovely ladies. So nice to see you all here. Okay, so I'm going to make a crystal grid. Oh, Anne, I'm so glad. It's nice to see you, girl. I wish I could see you in person, but this was the best I could do. And so I thought I'm going to try it out. I'm going to try out and see how TikTok works for me. So I thought I'd make a crystal grid in honor of the solar eclipse that we just had and the new moon that we're enjoying, this cold new moon, and the cold full moon is coming up. And I thought I'd make a crystal grid in honor of that. And with my intentions anyways would be to sort of draw in what it is I'm trying to get into my life. So I'll make one while we're sitting here, and I'll kind of turn it so you can see it while I'm creating it with my chosen crystals for the evening. So a couple things. We're going to get started. I kind of wrote everything down so I kind of stayed on track, because this girl here has a little bit of ADHD, and sometimes I get a little spinny. In fact, I found out recently that people like myself who are into shamanism and into the psychic realm like I'm in, and the healing work that I do, are called whirlwind women. And actually, I think I knew that years ago, but I kind of forgot about it and ran back into it recently. And that's kind of how I work too, and how I think. I sort of spin around and circle around and get right back to it. And sometimes that's the best way for me to create. Anybody else like that? Anybody else a spinner when they're creating or when they're downloading? I mean, this is a time right now, I would say, that we're all kind of like downloading information from the universe. So, you know, what's our next step? Where are we going? This is going to happen. That's not going to happen. And what's going to happen? And I think in the spinning process, we kind of spin out the stuff that we don't want to. So that's probably a good thing. So I personally started really feeling this energy coming in around the lunar eclipse. I mean, and I was sitting in a hot tub and looking up, and I watched the whole experience of that moon turning bloody red and beautiful. And, you know, really gave me so much inspiration, so much knowing about what I need to be doing for myself. And to be honest with you, that's when I kind of decided I made a full decision. I was going to come in and do this on Mondays. Every Monday, you're going to find me here, 6 p.m. PST time. I'm in British Columbia, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. I just moved here last year from being an Ontario resident for my whole life. That's where I was born. But I decided this was a place for me to live out the rest of my life. So here I am, and my son and my mother came with me, and his partner, Kirsty, who I hope ends up showing up sometime through this event. Anyways, so the solar eclipse was on December 4th. And that was an interesting day for me. But when I go back to the lunar eclipse, I realized that for me, I guess I'm very much more connected to the moon these days. And I felt so inspired by its beauty and its gifts. In fact, one of the gifts that we talked about was that you make 7 wishes on that night, because it's considered a witchy time, a very witchy time. And of course, I feel very connected to that. I miss you too, Anne. I miss you too, sweetie. And so for me, I made 7 wishes, and one of them I'll tell you about, has to do with health. And the reason I'm telling you about that is because this time right now brings us back to that, because this solar eclipse that we experienced, and this new moon that we're experiencing is in the energy of Sagittarius, which just so happens to be the card that's associated, tarot card that's associated to Sagittarius is Temperance. And Temperance happens to be all about health and balance, right? So this is a perfect example of, you know, being in sync with the universe, being in sync with the energy without even knowing fully all the things that come into play at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, I've been at this a long time, so I probably know it on some subliminal level. I recognize all of these things. But when you get right down to it and you sit down and you pull it out and you look at it and you log it and you chart it and you go, whoa, I was totally in sync with that. And so I live my life as a psychic and as a spiritualist and teacher of the esoteric and occult ways. And I'm also an ordained minister, so I do, you know, those sort of traditional weddings, and handfesting is my favorite kind of wedding to do. And I'm a death doula and a life coach, and I do memorials and baby blessings and psychic work. I do tons of psychic readings and stuff like that. But my point is, what is my point? I'm a spinner. You got to bring me back into the fold, girls and boys. Okay, what was my point on that one? I guess just, you know, being involved and knowing, is this what you want to do? Do you want to move out of this area? Do you want to focus on this? For me, I suppose what I am naturally drawn to are the things that I stick with, or the things that I'm going to stay with. So with the Sagittarian energy, the thing that I'm most associated with, I mean, obviously the card Temperance is about health and balance. And by the way, I have them up sitting here in case you didn't see them. Over here, see? And I'm honoring them. I create a little tiny altar here in my, this is not actually my chapel or my reading room. This is my office. Anyways, that's my Temperance card there, and then here's the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune card would represent the Jupiter, and Temperance would represent the Sagittarian. Jupiter's the planet for Sag. Anyway, so those energies are about emotion and intense energy. This is a very intense time. And I'll bet you tons of you here feel it, because I do. Do you feel it? Do you feel the intensity that we're living, that we're experiencing? Because I do. And this is an emotional time. This is a time that we need to, you know, sort of pound out that energy. So this is a good time for anything like drumming or dancing. Crying is a good time to get that water energy flowing, get it out of you. Because, and many people may be feeling very emotional right now. And part of that reason, You know, we're living in some pretty difficult times. You know, for sure, we're living in some pretty difficult times. Like I was talking about grief, I was being interviewed by someone the other day, and she was asking me about grief. And I said to her that I thought every single person was experiencing grief right now, and very few people realize that's what's happening. They are and grief is expressed in lots of ways. Like you get super angry when you're grieving. You know, and what can you grieve? It's not just people that die or animals that die that we grieve. Sometimes it's our lives, and the very lives that we live, we're grieving. And we are all grieving because we have lost our freedom. We have lost our ability to hug and touch and kiss and you know, even just cuddle up or get cozy with, or sit around a campfire all shoulder to shoulder and play some drums and sing and dance. I've missed my festivals. I used to run a pagan fest, and for about, I don't know how many years now. How many years was it? Maybe 12 years or 11 or 12 years. But I also did four festivals a year, so I did a lot of festivals, and I really, really miss it. And I used to go visit others, Wiccan Fest, KG, Kaleidoscope Gathering in Ontario, Wolf Song, some of my closest friends. Some of the people on this live today are people that I've met at those festivals, and I miss you all so much. And I'm sure I'm not the only one missing that connection with people. So this is a good time to release some of that, and to, you know, just sort of recognize it's there, and find a way to get it out of you. If you can go swimming, go swimming. If you can do tarot readings for yourself, do some tarot readings for yourself. If you can't do them, come to someone like me to do them. It's a good time to kind of look through your life and figure out what is it you want. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go with your life? I mean, I think a lot of us are still thinking about that. Do you know what you want to do? So right now, this kind of moon is perfect for you to start thinking about what are your intentions. And it's a very magical moon, so I would say your intentions will have a lot of power. So it's a good time to, you know, sort of look at what is deluding you, what are your illusions. You know, some of those things can be dreamed into your life right now. Some of those things could actually be dreamed in. So if you can dream them in, you might want to write them down first. You know, write them down, manifest them in some way by writing it down in a sacred time while you're alone. This is a time, if you've been doing drugs or have friends that do drugs, it's a good time to help them or help yourself, because we can look at ourselves. In fact, this morning I spoke with someone who I've known since they were very young, and I've watched them struggle with alcohol and drug abuse, and I talked with that person about, you know, maybe embracing the idea of rehab. I hope to goodness I made some sense for them, and I even offered a hand up if they needed some, which they probably will, and I'll be giving a little hand up to that person. You know, what causes us to have drug problems and alcohol problems are all trauma related, and I think people need to be a little more understanding about that and bring some more kindness to the table. One of the grieving things that I've noticed is this anger thing, and if you've noticed, the universe has people in the universe have become very quick to anger, quick to fight, quick to judge, quick to pick a side. And I think that this is a good time with this solar eclipse and this new moon energy to sort of lay some ground rules down for yourself and say, no, this is not how I want to be. I want to bring out the good in me, the best in me, you know. And how do you do that? Well, I think being creative is a good way to deal with your grief. I think playing with rocks is a good way to deal with your grief. I mean, seriously, why not? Why not play with rocks and deal with your grief? I have beautiful crystals here. Let me show you some of them. So I just started making my grid here. You did that too? Good. So I'm using, oh, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Are you getting it? Isn't that nice? that is called, it's a hematite. It's a specular hematite. So, I mean, I think using certain stones is a good idea too, because I use some of the darker ones and the light black and white, sort of thinking of that energy that we're dealing with, the moon and the dark moon. And when we use these kinds of things, we sort of draw to us energy, right? We kind of pulling it right in. And I'll leave this grid up. If I have to move it, I may move it, but I will leave this grid up when I'm all said and done here. So I'm just going to get some more rocks and come back here. And so making grids is a good way to condense energy, to draw energy, to cultivate energy, to pull it all together. And these using specific stones are really, really super helpful. So with this new moon that we're feeling and all the energy that we're feeling right now, I think it's very spiritual and very mystical. And part of it has to do with the planets that are also playing with us, Venus, Saturn. Well, Pluto will come in a little bit later on this one, but Venus and Saturn are super super engaged. And one of the ways they're doing that, honestly, is they're creating opportunities for us to look at how do we want to make money? How do we want to love? What do we want to love? What do we love enough to put our focus and intention into? Saturn is really about, being practical and being focused and scheduled and routined and ritualed, and so we're pulling it all together with that. So right now is a good time to set intentions, clear away your negative energy. I did some smudging before you all joined me, and I smudged the room, and that might be a good thing to do quite a bit during a dark moon, as a matter of fact. So being very creative, I think, is helpful. Writing, painting, singing, dancing, creating of any sort. Whether you're a crafter, I've been making lots of different crafts and stuff. I make them for my store. I've been doing smudge bundles and dream catchers and pentagrams and prisms, and I'll be doing some smudge feathers next week. We got some turkey wings we're going to be working with. So, and with the Pluto energy, that's kind of like working with the dead. So it's a good time because I got these wings, I got to rip them apart. And that's the part I don't really like much, but I will be doing that next week. And so I'll be using the energy around me, like, using that Pluto energy to help. So, what else? Sagittarian is our philosophical planet. It's really about your beliefs too. What do you believe in? And you may recognize that your beliefs have changed, because it can tell you that I even, had some issues, and I'm still working through them, I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of pissed off at Creator or whoever or whatever is in charge up there. I mean, I'm really not living up to my expectations as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not so happy with Creator right now. And so I've been calling in the gods and goddesses and kind of using their energy. Who are they all? I don't know, but I know whoever was in charge hasn't done a good enough job, so I'm asking for more help. I'm asking for more inspiration. I'm asking for more stabilization, some more health, some more energy, some more endurance to help myself. And, this is also a time for you to do some reflecting on, how did you get where you are now? And do you really like what you're doing and where you're at? Do you like what you're doing? Do you like where you're at? Because if you're not, it's time to make those changes. It's time to set the intention for the future, because as the full moon comes in, this is going to be a really good time for you to go, well, I'm done with that completely. So this is the time you want to sit with it. What do I want to do? What do I like? What I don't like? You may have some pretty powerful dreams in the next little while. It might be a good time to do some journaling. And then just take a moment and reflect on those dreams, because they sometimes have a clearer vision, to be honest with you, than your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind sometimes knows a little better. It's just not so cluttered with all the voices and the scripts that other people have dumped into your head. So sometimes dreaming is, I love to dream. In fact, I think that's when I became my most powerful in my career, is allowing time for dreaming, allowing time. And I journaled almost every day about everything. And a lot of people tell me they can't remember their dreams. Well, it's a difficult thing to train yourself, but you can train yourself to remember those dreams. You certainly can. We'll talk about them maybe in January. We'll talk more about dream work. So precognition is a big thing right now, and some people, because of where the planets are going to feel a real shake and shock that they know things, because what's about to happen, I think, is we're going to learn things about people, places, and things, especially governments, and this whole situation we're living through. We're going to learn things we didn't know before, and then what are you going to do with that? So, precognition is happening, and people are going to go, wow, I had a feeling about that. I knew that. So if you get some sort of crazy idea about something, write it down, and then later on check in on, see how well, how close you were. Because I bet you many people who are dreaming in or feeling in, because you can, a lot of people think you have to go to sleep to dream. I can tell you honestly, if you're meditating and walking through nature and some wonderful ideas, crazy ideas come into your mind, those are daydreams, and daydreams can be just as real and can be just as right on. So I've had plenty of them myself. So yeah. So clearing out the old is intended at this time, but the full cleanse will come at the full moon, okay? Because the way we're looking at the new moon is it's building, it's a waxing vibration. So you start in the neutral point, the most neutral point of energy, and where there is nothing, one side or the other, and then you build. As that new moon begins to come to life, you have 2 weeks of it coming into the full bloom of the moon, and then we have the full moon. So what we do is, in the waxing part of energy, we pull our intentions out of ourselves, and we put them on the table, and we say, okay, this is how I want to do things. This is what I want in my life. This is where we put our wishes and our prayers and our intentions out there for the manifestation, because the only way to manifest it is to bring it out of us somehow. This is why we do wonderful things like I'm doing here tonight, for instance, with the grid, for instance, and the tarot magic with my little altar over here. That is part of working with the moon, working with the energy. This is a time, if you allow yourself, you'll get lots of downloads, and I think a lot of people are getting downloads right now, to be honest with you. And some people might think they're going crazy. Some may go crazy. But our job as witches, as shaman spiritualists, as druids, as seekers of the truth, our job really is to help each other rise up, to help literally give a hand up to people. And I don't mean a hand out, a hand up, because that's sometimes all people need is just a little tug and pull them up on the other side. So I think these downloading energies will bring in joy, bring in opportunity, and this is a good time to bring it in. Christmas, the Yuletide season. In my tradition, I'm raised in a family that call it Christmas, and I do. But I also have a real sensitivity to the winter solstice and the Yuletide blessings. As a witchy woman, that's one of the things that I pulled into my life about maybe 20 years ago now, 18 years ago, something like that. So I kind of work with that. And the funny thing is, my family dinner ended up on December 21st, which was wonderful. You were born in the darkness. Yes, well, that's a good thing, because when we're in the darkness, we can't get any darker. So the cool thing about darkness is you can see the light better. So I'm sure those people born in the dark times are truly able to see light, and because they're in a good place for that, right? So today, I just so you know, some of the stones that I've used here is, have I ever seen fear? Actually, yes, I have. What do you mean by that, though? I'm putting some Labradorite down right now. What do you mean by have I ever seen fear? Can you elaborate a little bit, please? The truth suck, whoever you are. That's quite a name you got there. I'm just trying to turn this so you can see me creating the grid. I'll get it. Give me a second. There we go. So I'm now putting some Labradorite on. The only light is fire. Well, yeah, because that is life. Life is fire. Whoops. I'm down for the count. Sorry about that. Oh, hopefully that'll stay like that. Oops. Oh, I know why this isn't working, because I didn't bring in the right thing to do it, of course. But I did bring it in, and I forgot it. Okay. So, yeah, the only light is fire. That's an interesting way to put it. Is there a particular thing you're trying to get at there? Because I would agree with you, though. Isn't that life? Fire of life? Would you say that? Yeah, sorry to hear that. What's your name? What's your name? True suck person. Just your first name. Labradorite. Anybody else absolutely love Labradorite? I think I'm in love with it. I have these beautiful pieces here. I don't know if anybody can see them. How lovely they are. Let's see if I can get one to flash for you. Oh, here's a flasher. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there it is. You see it? Isn't that sweet? I love Labradorite too. Oh, thank you. I've been told that about my voice. And then someone told me something else about my voice that I really didn't like. And that was that I sounded like, what was that? Raymond loves something. I can't remember the show now. But I didn't like the fact that I sounded like his mother. But I guess I do. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're getting at, but I'm going to just continue here and continue talking about the moon, dear. If you want to talk to me in person or individually, I'm happy to sit with you, for sure. I'm happy to sit with you. A lot of people have a lot of stuff going on right now. Okay, what else have I got? Okay, I put them out. Oh, some selenite. Selenite's a good stone to work with right now, too. So right now, everybody's going to be looking for the truth, okay? The truth is really important, and people are going to be looking for it. People are looking for their freedom. People are looking... Oh, selenite, I love you. People are looking for the justice, because, you know, there's an awful lot going on. I'm not sure what everybody is... feeling about what's happening with our governments and COVID and all these restrictions. I'm not really sure what everybody feels, but I can tell you this. There's some big changes that are going to affect our life for a very long time. This is not something that's going to change back to normal, or at least the normal that we knew. That's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. You try cleansing with sage. Everybody loves Raymond. That's it. That's it. You love that lady? Oh my God. You do see, you just said it. I sound like her. I hate that. So I listened to her voice and didn't like it. But whatever, it is what it is, right? That's what I was told. And I've also been told my voice is soothing, so that's kind of good. So Labradorite, what do you know about Labradorite? Does anybody know what Labradorite's really good for? Because for me, I use it for seeing. I use it for seeing. I use it for reflecting. This is one of the reasons why I chose to use it here. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute there. Oh. Where is it? Oh gosh, they're so sneaky. Can you see that? Oh my goodness, you're beautiful. There it is. Beautiful. You're lovely. Oh, look at this one. See, what I love about Labradorite, it really gives you different perspectives, different views. You know, you really got to turn yourself to really see it. So a lot of people, when they're looking at something, look at something with, you know, one perspective. I think the teaching about Labradorite is, you know, look at it from all different angles, especially when you have a problem. Look at that. Beautiful, eh? Yes, I'm glad it's coming through. Yeah, Labradorite is one of my favorite pieces. Yes, it is good for trance. Oh, look at this one. Oh my goodness, I hope you can see this one. Can you see that? And you know, the way we see the moon too, the moon is she reflects differently to each person. I mean, seriously. It depends on where you are. Like where was I the other day? I noticed it was white and yellowish, and then I turned the corner and it was right at my doorstep and it was orange. So, you know, you get a different perspective with that too. So I want to talk a little bit about the fact that what we're doing right now is by setting intentions, we're also considering what the endings of things will be. What the endings will be. So, you know, how are you going to end something? If you figured out that you can't do something anymore, how are you going to end it? You know, will it require you to, you know, what action is going to be required of you to complete that task? Oh, look at this one. Oh gosh, this one's got some pink in it too, if I can get it to show you. Oh, there, look. Oh gosh, I love them. Some of my favorite stones have been Labradorite, to be honest. Yeah. Labradorite. Another one of my favorite stones is Rainbow Moonstone. And I kind of use them both in conjunction with amber and jet. I find them both to be the witches' stones, true witches' stones. And I think working with crystals and candles is really important, especially during any kind of moon work that you're doing. Crystals, candles, tarot, incense, herbs. Use the ones you love. Use the ones that speak to you. But there are particular ones that actually work with each season and each moon and each type of moon. And each Sabbath. So, you know, the more we get together here, the more I'll share what I know. What about my stones? Okay, so endings and beginnings and new systems. One of the things that you can expect to happen over the next little while, and although we're talking about this moon energy is what's creating it, is people's belief systems are breaking down. And as I was saying, I too have sort of shook my head and wondered, what the heck do I believe in anymore? And you know, how do I, you know, sit with this one? And when you're not sure about something, it is best to sit. One of my models is, when in doubt, sit it out. When in doubt, say nothing. When in doubt, shut up. When in doubt, move about. Bottom line is, when in doubt, don't speak about it. Just be quiet with it. So that's what I've been doing most of the time. And I think that a lot of people's belief systems have changed. And I think it's important to review them at this time and work with it. You know, literally, what do you believe in? Do you know what you believe in? Have you changed what you believe in? Because if you have, it's okay. And it's okay to, you know, sort of, for me, it's like the truth as I know it today. This is my truth today. And it might change tomorrow, because tomorrow I might learn something else that'll make it more powerful or less powerful. And that's why I don't make a big rash decision about what I believe in right away. I sort of let it grow, let it flow, let go, let the goddess, see what happens. One of the things for sure is I work with goddess energy, and I do believe in the gods and goddesses and per se all of the pantheon of beautiful beings that have been mythicized or created stories about legends and so on. Some of the things I work with mostly, though, I would say are animal spirits is my big thing. I love the animal spirits. Although I do work with gods and goddesses, trust me, they work with me whether I like it or not. But the thing I go to, my go-to honestly is Creator, Grandmother, the Moon, Grandfather, the Sun, and the animals, and all the elements, water, fire, earth, and air. Those things I work with. Crystals are big time for me. In fact, speaking of fire, someone spoke of fire. I think it was the Truth Suck person who didn't give me their first name. Ooh, I'm going to call you Ooh. Anyways, to be honest with you, I think I have always felt that with all the flashes in the Labradorite, I'll give you a good example, I've always felt stones to be the fire of the elements. So instead of actually creating a fire, think about this for a second. We have air, that's, we see it in the wind. We have water, we feel it, see it, drink it. And we have earth, we see it, feel it, touch it. But unless we light a fire, we don't have the fire element? No, that isn't true. The spark of life is fire. It is the first thing. And the last thing. And I think these represent fire. And they could at one point been fire, but once the air, water, and earth transformed it, it became a solid form. And left over rocks and crystals with beautiful flashes. What do you think? Think it's possible? That's how I see it. And when I create shields, I make shields, I use rocks, I use crystals to represent the fire element, or ashes in a medicine bag. You like the way I think? Thank you, sweetie. Whoever you are. Ooh. No? That's my girl, Dorothy. Thanks, honey. Okay, so new systems. They're about to come in to play. I guarantee you on a large scale, not on a little scale. So you might as well adjust yourself somewhere in here and figure out where your fire is. What is your passion? That's what fire, I see fire as, creation. Fire is passion. What's inside you? What's brewing in you? And then bring it out. Bring it out in when the new moon is ending. Just as the new moon's ending, bring it to fruition. Bring it out. And if you can't do it this new moon, do it the next new moon. Maybe you have some more work to do with the full moon, and when you have to do some releasing to make some room for your passions, that's okay too. That's okay. As I'm saying this, these rocks that I'm working with are actually chips of fluorite, and they represent truth. So I have fluorite, which represents truth and strength, and selenite, which represents softness and everything in order. There's more things, but I'm just getting to the short and skinny. Labradorite, which represents all perspectives and looking at our shadow and our shadow work. Quartz crystal for protection and healing and direction. And obsidian represents that obsidian that I put in the middle here. This one here, that beautiful baby. That represents Sagittarian. And because we're in the dark moon in Sagittarian, I use that one. And that's their stone in the earth medicine. I don't know if any of you are familiar with earth astrology, which is one of my favorite astrologies. I love all kinds of astrology. In fact, I don't really watch the news that much, and I watch astrology news. And because of that, it takes me about 10 hours a week to actually hear all the news that's coming up. I created a station on YouTube. It's not active yet. It will be in the new year. And it's called Astrology News, Shaman Witch TV. And for those of you that are interested in YouTube and looking at stuff like that, there'll be some people that will join me, astrologers that will join me in discussion, and we'll be doing regular astrology news clips. And we hope you join us. when we're ready. I'll let you know more about it as we go, but it will be in the new year. We're working on it. We're working on it here first. So some things I want you to do to work with the moon. So if you got a pen and paper, you can write this down. I'm not sure if this will be saving this live or not. We'll save. And if it does, I don't think it does though. But here's the list of things that you can do to help yourself with the moon. Okay? So here we go. You can write down what you want. That is part of manifestation. Like I said, the other day we were talking, I guess it was on Instagram or on Psychic Sea or Tamara Whitewolf on Facebook maybe. That's me. I think we were talking about the witching hour, which was the lunar eclipse. And we talked about our wishes, and you were to write down 7 of your wishes. So in this way, we can write down what are our intentions for this new moon. What are your intentions? Write them down. Write them down. It doesn't matter that we've passed it a bit. We're still in the dark cycle, and we are in the growing or the waxing cycle, so it's okay. Write it down right now. Do it. Start doing it. And don't stop until you got it all out. And if you want to write down more than 7, do it, but at least 7. Another thing you can do is create a vision board. You know, cut out pictures, draw pictures, put tarot cards together. That's a vision board, right? Write down your dreams. Write them down as a story. So suppose you want something in your life. Like when I opened up my store, Earth and Sky Connection, I remember sitting down and writing down what I wanted. I wanted a metaphysical store. I wanted to help people in the community. I wanted the community to understand the type of person I was and work with me. And I wanted to be accepted. And I was for the longest time. Of course, there was the, oh my God, you're a witch. Back in the day when I used to say, I'm not a witch, I'm aware. And then I get, what does that mean? Like a werewolf? So people are crazy, man. Anyway, I didn't even realize I was a witch probably until 2000 and maybe 2000, to be honest. It was probably 2000 when I knew for sure I was definitely working with the witchy energy. It's funny, I was reluctant and resisting being a witch because of, I guess, just the whole stuff around it. But once I did, and I accepted the fact of who I was, I had a life. I've had a life, a beautiful life. I've had a beautiful life. It's not over. It's changed because of the move and all. And I don't operate my store yet. I'll be opening another one here in British Columbia in the summer. But we're probably going to go back to things that we used to have, which is a smaller store and a mobile vehicle. So we'll be able to do farms, fairs and markets and stuff like that again. So it'll be fun. So anyways, write down your dreams because they come true. I came from poverty and I wrote down that I wasn't going to be impoverished and I was going to be wealthy. And it turned out that I managed pretty good. So write it down and believe in it. Because if you start kiboshing your own plans and your own wishes and your own dreams, I mean, what you put out comes back, right? I mean, it does. What you put out comes back to you. So be mindful of what you're putting out there. And if you catch yourself being, you know, stinky thinker, nip yourself in the butt and stop it. Just get back on that positive train and push yourself forward and dream in what it is you want to dream. Dream in what you want to live. Because we can create our dreams with manifested thoughts. We can create them by writing them down like they're a story and making them real as a vision board. We can create them and make them real. Try it before you dump it. Try it, especially during this type of a moon. This is why I'm talking about it now. Do it. Set some goals and get some hard deadlines, like within 1 week, within 10 days, before the 21st, this type of a thing. Do it. Am I Arab? No, I am not. However, I was told, because I'm part Italian and we're from Sicily, that there is Arabian blood in my family. But I don't know. I'm more, I identify part native and part Italian and part English. But I think Arabian men are pretty good looking. I love long hair. Anyways, so what action should you make to create? That is the next thing. So if you want to create something, you want to do something, you need to say, okay, what action do I have to make to create it? What do you have to do? What do you have to set up? Who do you have to get out of the way? What time do you have to set aside? What clothes do you have to wear? Where do you want to be? Does your car have to be working? Do you need more rocks? By the way, I sell rocks. Anyways, refresh your altar. Create a new altar, especially around this time when we're looking at different moon magic or different moon energies. Actually set yourself up in such a way where you have what do you call it? A rotating altar. Maybe you want to have a drawer with all your different seasons and all your different Sabbats. So you can start with this one because we're working on Yule, dark moon, and the full moon's coming. So you can set up a box with all the things that you might put in, or a basket of all the things that you might include in your altar. Okay, so taking a moment to refresh that altar is almost like cleaning your house and spring cleaning and getting ready for something new, bringing and allowing more to come in. A crystal grid, as I said. Look at this. I'll show it to you now. It's kind of coming together quite nicely. See that? Do you like it? It's quite beautiful, isn't it? Crystal grids are beautiful. And they really do draw in energy. I love them. Right? Very cool. Thank you. So, as I said, crystal grids are really good ideas. And I think candle magic, and at this time, of course, we're looking at Yule. And Yule usually is green, red, and white. I've heard some other colors too, but those are the more common ones. And, get different candles. And did you know that, you can make colored beeswax candles? They're better, or soya. I'm using soya and beeswax. And I find them very, whoops, I don't know what just happened. I ended up with an awful lot of light. Jeez, what just happened there? Why is that happening? I'll get rid of it in a second when my computer stops being a fool. So I don't know if you know much about candle magic, but there's some pretty... What the heck? There's some pretty cool books on it. One of my favorite people, actually Raymond Buckland, did some really good books on candle magic. He's passed just recently, a couple of years back. I'm glad he didn't have to put up with this COVID crap. What a gentle, peaceful man. I very much had a lot of respect for Raymond Buckland. Great man. He did some really good work on some candle magic. Little simple books, anyways. If you ever run into those books, scoop them up, because they got some really good content and simple and easy to understand about candle magic. Because all the candles and their colors represent different things, right? So when we're working with a dark moon, you want to use a dark candle, and that's why I have a dark candle here, okay? And it's very, very, very dark green. And then, of course, I have my frankincense soya candle over there. Because at the end of this, I'm going to put some of that oil, because the oil, I don't know if you know about soya candles, but they are actually can be used to massage. You can pour them right on your back and they don't burn. And the reason that is because they don't get as hot as paraffin wax or even beeswax for that matter. So soya candles are a very good product if you can get a hold of them. I have some for sale. They'll be around in the summer. I do have some right now, but not many. Anyways, a gemstone elixir is another good thing. You got to be careful what stones you're using, because some leach, and that's not a good idea to use any stones that leach. So you wouldn't use pyrite, for instance, which I'm about to use. You wouldn't use that hematite, what's it called again? Sorry, specular hematite. You would use that because it would leach. It's powdery, right? So you don't use anything like that. There's some pyrite. I'm going to put in this as well. You wouldn't use that because it leaches, but a quartz crystal would be a perfect thing to put in your water. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the obsidian is actually also has another name, has a really cool name. What's it called? Dragonstone. Dragon's Firestone, I believe, is what I've heard it called. And it was, where did I hear that? I think it was on Game of Thrones. It was a kind of cool name to call it. And it was the only thing that would kill the walkers. What are they called? The dead walkers or something? Soya beeswax. Oh, that's good. Good thing. Good thing, Dorothy. Yeah, the death walkers, I think is what they're called. And it was the only thing that was able to kill them. But in the native tradition, they were used, they cut out arrows and knives in that. Well, the older traditions, they use them also in the Celtic traditions too, to be honest with you. I'm not sure where that was that I read that. It was Scandinavian or something. Wherever there is volcanoes, because of course that's where it comes, okay? Let's see, where am I at? Beautiful, that's a nice one. I like pyrite, fool's gold. Do you like it too? It's kind of cool. I think children have always been fascinated by pyrite. And I think using pyrite here today, for me, is sort of like, because I also see this as the fool's journey, and where we're at is a whole new opportunity. I don't know if I'll show you this. There's the Fool card and the Moon card, representing the energies that we're working with right now. So the Fool card to me is this new beginning, or these new opportunities that are coming, and taking that leap of faith. The road less traveled is the way out of. If you don't like where you're at, just decide, I'm doing this. I mean, that's what I did when I moved from Ontario to British Columbia. It was a big move. I had to sell my store, my property, my son's house, my house. I mean, it was a lot. And say goodbye to friends and family. Wow, it was a big deal. Been there all my life. I mean, my big life. My big life, meaning my adult life. As I moved from the beaches, Toronto, Ontario, when I was 28, I believe, or 29, at the Saturn return, I moved right then. And then I stayed again till the next Saturn return, and then I moved here. So I moved from beaches to Barrie to BC. Kind of cool. All in like at the Saturn return time. So yeah, planets matter. Planets matter. So another thing you can do right now as a good idea is to make a spray, and like some sort of elixir or spray that you can put crystals in it and different oils that represent this energy, and you can use that to spray your room, to cleanse your room. You don't always have to smoke a room to cleanse it. You don't always have to use cleansing smoke. You can use sprays. I know lots of people who use sprays. I used to do psychic fairs and stuff, and you weren't allowed to use any of your smoke type cleansing inside their building. So I had this spray, and it worked just as nice. In fact, a friend of mine, young lady, Kimmy, sells some really nice stuff that I love it, and she's in Ontario if anybody needs a connection. Oh, thank you. I've had that for such a long time. Actually, not completely true. I've had one like this I wore for 20 years. And then when I gave my son, Skylar Pink, my Earth and Sky connection downtown Ontario, Barrie, I gave him this necklace because I thought he would need the protection. And then COVID hit, and I was really feeling out of sorts without my necklace, because I really wanted it back. And a beautiful lady, Lori Robertson, if you're hearing this or seeing this, she gave it to me. And there was only ever 2 made that I know of, or that I ever had. And she bought one out of my store years ago, and she didn't wear it enough. So she decided that I needed it more than her, and she gave us it. Now my son and I both have one. But I wear it almost every single day, and have for since 1998. Yeah, there's 5 of them. Cool, eh? There's another lady on TikTok that had one on one day, but there was she had a whole bunch of them. That was kind of cool. So another thing that we can do at this time, especially with Yule, is bring in that good green energy. So make your wreaths, put them on your doors, stick some herbs in there, flowers, whatever you've got that you maybe created from your own garden. And if you use anything dead, use something, put it outside more, or color it up, or spray it up or something. Part of the problem with using dead anything is the feng shui vibration. So that's why when I make, I'll show you. When we make our little smudge sticks, that's blue and black, and see, these are dead herbs, but they're processed with love and at the right time. See, different colors represent different herbs. So they're all sage base, and then you have whatever, sweetgrass, rosemary, lavender, cedar, that type of thing. I even have some hawthorn. So the Viking energies, hawthorn and camphor. Yeah, we have some different really cool ones that we created ourselves. And you can do the same thing, but just so make it and with intention. Don't forget, this is a time of intention. It's very important. Cleanse your space, clean it up, clean your room, make for new, because that's what you want. You want new opportunities. Change your bed. Literally, change your sheets, change your clothes, change the type of clothes you have in your drawers. Take out the summer clothes, put in your fall clothes, your winter clothes, that type of thing. This is a time for that. Intention. Be ready, especially. Be ready for the winter in the coming days, because as the month goes on, this moon gets colder and colder and colder. And the Yuletide Moon, there's different names for this moon, of course. But some of the things that I'm familiar with are very much connected to the native ways. I'm part Ojibwe, so the Ontario Great Lakes native folk. Another thing you can do is change your screens, change your computer screen, change your telephone screens, because these help whenever we have a picture for intention. It's very helpful. So it's good to make a sort of define the change, define the moment of change with pictures and things like that. Thank you. Do meditations. One of the vibrations you might want to pull in right now is the energy of 111 hertz. And there's a couple of, once you look into that, you'll notice some other different vibrational energies that are really helpful. I don't know if you have your TV in your bedroom or a telephone by your bed or an iPhone or an iPad or whatever. Put the meditation sounds on and go to sleep. And what I notice is there's this really cool thing that YouTube does. I don't know if it does it to everybody, but it does it to me. It actually does a playlist of all things similar, so I end up getting all kinds of really cool sound healing when I do that. So this is a good time to do the 111 hertz energy. It's very helpful, very healing. So put the meditations on now and allow yourself to be with yourself, okay? Because this is the time of being alone, being with yourself, being in a place of learning, being in a place of processing the learning, right? You can even do chakra healing. You can go and get it down, or you can do it on a psychic level. I've done lots of psychic meditations and psychic healing, psychic surgery, so to speak, on myself. I don't know. Have you ever tried that, folks? You ever tried psychic surgery? I mean, literally sitting, hey, Mom.
Busy?
Yeah, I'm doing my thing. I told you I was going to be working until 7:30.
Kirsten wants to know if you want to go help decorate the tree. And
Not yet. When I'm finished. I'm on live, Mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come over when I'm done.
Okay, I got lots to tell you.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Mama. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, do some chakra clearing. I mean, you can take your own rocks and you could lay on your bed and put them where they belong. If you know where the points are, the meridians, you could actually sit down and do some healing in that way to yourself. Put a little bit of smudge on, put on the right meditative music, sit there and see. I mean, when I do chakra healing in person, I use a pendulum, And starting at the feet, depending on whether you're male or female, it goes in one direction or the other. And then the next chakra goes in the opposite direction, and so on, up the body. And by doing that, you're creating like this cup or vortex of energy that moves energy, that moves things. So if you've got a girlfriend or a guy friend that wants to help you do it, or partner, that's a good thing to get them to do. And you can probably find it online, which is the right direction to go if you're a male or if you're female. Okay, so, and if you need some help and you don't remember all that stuff, give me a shout. I'm here. Psychic surgery, yes. You ever heard of that? It actually can work. Seriously. I've actually sent psychic healing and imagined when someone had a tumor to help them get it, cut it out, or to squeeze it out, or to remove it. I wish I could. I'm having trouble myself actually on something, and maybe you could help me. I have some arthritis going on and I can't cut it out now, can I? I guess I need to inject myself. There, I think I just answered my own question. I'll inject myself with some collagen form or something in my knees, and maybe that'll help. So psychic surgery helps. Another really cool thing that you can do right now, and you can have different things set up for different times. Like I said about that basket, where you have all the sabbats and all the stuff that you would put on that altar in a basket, and then you pull it out when you're ready to use it. You can also have a playlist for each of those times. So you could have a Samhain playlist. I have one myself. I have a Yule playlist. I have a spring or a spring equinox playlist, and so on and so on. You can create playlists on YouTube or whatever else platform you're using. There's so many now, but I use YouTube for that. So you can do that now too. So dark moon energy, play all the moon stuff during the moon. You know, there's lots of moon songs out there, by the way, if you didn't know. Lots of them. So in the time of Earth astrology, and Earth astrology is a native, I think I was talking about that, and that's what I was talking about, but I forgot where I was heading. That's what it was. I knew I'd circle around to it, the whirling woman that I am. Anyways, Earth astrology is a native perspective of the zodiac. And so I'm a Leo, and that would make me a Sturgeon in Earth astrology. Depending on your sign, you get a little bit different energy, and I'm considered a thunder being because I'm a fire sign. But there's different stones that we work with then too, which is why and how we ended up getting the obsidian stone that I told you about that we're using in the middle of this grid. It is associated to the Sagittarian, and I learned that from Earth astrology, and that's Sun Bear. If you're interested, the medicine wheel, Earth astrology. I've been using that for a long, long time now, that type of teaching. Those teachings really resonate well with me because they work with animals and crystals, and I love that. So, you know, you can have a nice clean bath too. You can stick all of these cool things in the bath. The oil, the stones, the herbs, all of it. Have a nice cleansing bath while you're listening to your playlist. And reading your Sun Bear book. Oh, thank you. I think you sent a like, Captain Ange. Thank you. I don't know how this all works. We'll find out, won't we? Like I said, for those of you who are just jumping on now, this is my absolute first. This is the Spirit Talk Season 1, Episode 1. And there'll be more to come every Monday. Okay, so another thing you can do when you're working with the moon, especially the dark moon energies, is write an abundance check for yourself. No shit. Write an abundance check for yourself. And if you somebody else that you know that needs some money and really likes having that kind of energy, you know, of money or health. Let's say they need money to improve their health, because I know a lot of people are in the United States and they pay for their medical care. How about write them a check for whatever it costs for them to do that surgery? That's a really good thing to do, right? Hey, just taking them. Oh my goodness, Pirate Chip's girlfriend. How you doing? We'll have to get together soon. Thank you, whoever said I'm awesome. That was nice of you. I'm just me. I'm doing this a long time. Okay. So call on spirit guides. Remember, I was saying earlier, I was kind of mad at creator, and I'm not done with that thinking in my life or that belief system, but I know it's changing and altered in some way. So I'm wondering, what is it? And in the meantime, I take some time and talk to other gods and goddesses, and maybe fairies even. Take the time to call in other good energies, whatever it is you think you need. This is the time of Hecate too. We're working with the goddess Hecate in the dark moon, and she is kick-ass protector, and she will go after your enemies. She will go after people or energies that are trying to do you in. So if you feel somebody's getting in your way, call in Hecate and fix their day. I don't know who Casey Anthony is, but thank you, I guess. What else can we do? I mean, for me, I think if not just the gods and goddesses, what if it's your ancestors you want to talk to? This is a good time in the dark time, in the Samhain time. Any time of darkness is a good time to speak to your ancestors and speak to spirits of past days. If you're doing any ghost work or presence or exorcisms or anything like that, this is a good time to prepare for it in this dark time when your energies won't be seen because it's dark. And then, of course, when the new moon comes, it's a good time to strike, to release them. Call in the spirits, call in the ancestors, call in the animals. For me, I work best with wolf and eagle. My name is Tamara Whitewolf, but my spirit is eagle. Megazekwe. And finally, really, well, there's so many ways to do this. I mean, you can change your diet. You can clean your fridge out. If you intend to be healthier and eat healthier, clean your fridge out. I spent the morning cleaning my fridge out. So you can do all kinds of fun things like that. See, for me, I plan on losing a bunch of weight and getting ready for a knee operation. So yeah, I'll be working on that. Whatever you do, take some time alone. Take some time with yourself. Be introspective. Look at you. Who are you? Reevaluate yourself. Reevaluate your beliefs. Take time to be quiet. Be in the silence. It's okay to be alone. This is a good time. I mean, I think COVID has given us an opportunity more than anything, although it has driven us crazy because of being isolated for so long and not being able to hug and get connected and just, socialize and go to festivals and concerts. It's hard to live in a limbo state. But for this moment, be okay with it. Be okay with the opportunity to visualize and dream in your goals. And don't be afraid to set some goals. Like I said, put some deadlines on them so that you do it. The other thing is to start considering what kind of shadow work you should be doing. Is there something that literally is standing in your way? Is there? Because if there is, this is the time to begin thinking about how you're going to get rid of it so that you can begin figuring out what action needs to take place so that you can move forward and do that, so that you can be reawakened. So soul searching, big time, is this time, this kind of energy that we are working with is soul time. So pause, rest, reflect, right? Okay? As we all do this, as we all take time with this, we know the cold moon is here. The moon before Yule, the last full moon of the year. We just enjoyed the last solar eclipse of the year, the last lunar eclipse of the year, and now we're about to enjoy the last full moon of the year. And, I mean, we've just had the last new moon. Now we're going to have the last cold moon, full moon coming up. And that'll be on December 18th, I believe, is what I found out. I was just keeping an eye on that, because right after that, of course, is Yule. And Yuletide is on the 21st. And so then, that's when obviously we're going to celebrate. And we'll talk more about Yule next Monday. And so that you're getting ready for that time. But it is going to be a time for you to recharge reconnect, to fully engage in things that you love, that bring you joy. That's what it's about, bringing in the joy, right? So it's kind of hard to do that completely for those people who don't really like the snow and don't really want to travel outside when it's snowy like this, but it is a good time to go out there. I mean, we know in the native traditions this is a time of learning and taking time to upgrade your existing knowing systems, whether that be re-educating, realigning, re-educating in such a way where I mean by learning what you did know better, and also enhancing your education by learning new things. This is a good time to refresh and to reorganize, to regroup, and to let go and let the goddess move you. What is it you want to achieve? This is a time when you're going to be letting go of things that you don't need anymore and making room for all those intentions that you had put out now. So if you're putting out the intentions now, by the time you get to the cold moon, the full moon, you're going to be able to push out the things that might be taking too much of your time so that you can't make the final step or can't create the final things that you need to make your dreams come true. So this is a really good time for you to let it go, release it, move forward. So I know that I'm like I said, this was my very first time here in doing this kind of thing. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I can see you again. There's always somebody crazy. There's always somebody crazy. Take a good day. Have a good day, everyone. I don't know what that un-TikTok notifications to Mara White Wolf, your life is being took down. My live is being took down. Why? What is that about? Yes, hugs. Take care. I hope you enjoyed tonight, and we will do this again next Monday. You have a super awesome day and night and time with the moon. I hope you really connect with yourself and are able to manifest your deepest desires. You take good care. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. I don't know how to close my live. I will figure it out. Bye, everyone. Bye, honey.